Hey there and welcome back to XCOM. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our XCOM Enemy Within Ironman Impossible walkthrough. In the last episode we successfully unlocked the Lone Wolf achievement with Andrea, and today we will continue to shoot down alien UFOs, and hopefully a good few of them, because we are still 15 short of the required number for the related achievement. Now, at the end of the last episode, we encountered another terror mission, so that is what we'll start today's episode with. However, I'm planning to bring an old face back into the rotation, and this person will require another ghost armor, so let's quickly head over to engineering and purchase one. Then it's time to begin the mission, and for this one we are heading into China, but again our squad will see some slight changes. And we will actually get rid of squad leader Annette for this. Her place as squad leader will be taken by heavy CFD Kim Lupai, who will be carrying a medkit for emergency situations, as well as Annette's mind shield for a total will score of 126. And this now opens up another spot for Heavy Shaojie Zhang, so yes, we are heading into this one with 2 snipers and 2 heavies. Now, the reasoning behind this is that we have to take Shaojie into the final mission for another achievement. However, he has not yet had a chance to rank up any of his psionic abilities, so ideally we get him to do that over the course of the next few missions. Equipment-wise, there are no surprises here, I think, so let's get started and see how this one goes.
Central, Strike 1 is locked and loaded, awaiting drop orders.
Affirmative, Big Sky. Squad is cleared to engage hostile targets. Watch your fire out there. We have civilians on the ground. Repeat, civilians are in the AO.
Right, so the map should be familiar, I think, and our first move here also already reveals the first group of enemies. A trio of floaters is hiding inside of the building, and not only that, over on the other side we also find a sectopod. And since that sectopod is a bit closer to our position, I think we'll take it out first, so let's get everyone prepared and on Overwatch. Now, the floaters luckily do not move any closer to mess up our plan. However, it also seems like the sectopod is staying put, so I think we have to go on the offensive here. A shot from Palladium Talpas takes out the first drone and activates this group. Shot number 2 then gets rid of drone number 2. And to wrap things up, we'll go for the guaranteed disabling shot against the sectopod. CFD Lupai can then test if the coast is clear for the approach, and that seems to be the case, so let's move up Shaojie and Andrea as well. Sniper Wargal, meanwhile, can take aim from above, unfortunately though he doesn't get the critical here, but still does a decent amount of damage. Sharky Santoso, meanwhile, will stay put, and that's our turn. Let's see what the aliens do. Now, the floaters keep moving backwards while the sectopod can't act at all, so our next turn here begins with a free volley from Heavy Kim. Despite the poor hit chance, she connects, so in a few seconds we can keep moving with her. For the moment though, we'll scout ahead with Shaojie instead, who just gets into range of the floaters here, while Astro Cook can punch the sectopod and then also retreat out of its eventual blast zone.
Moving.
The killing blow then goes to Resilius, and with that the first group of enemies is defeated, and that means Luisa can also safely keep scouting and move closer towards the floaters. Both Michelle and Kim will use their turn to move as well, then we can activate Overwatch, and since Shaojie is already in range, I'm pretty sure that it will trigger. First up with the reaction shot is Palladium Talpas though, but of course I'm not complaining, more damage is always nice to have. Okay, so another sectopod has wandered in, but it has not detected us yet, and I think, for now, we should keep it that way. So a cloaked Shoji can save another civilian. Most importantly though, he gives us line of sight for all the floaters. And that is necessary, otherwise Resilius would not be able to do this. With 2 shots he can now do some significant damage. Mech Trooper Andrea Cook, meanwhile, is safe to move up a few tiles and use collateral damage to take out one of the floaters, which now allows Palladium Talpas to kill the other 2. The one that Andrea just killed was unfortunately behind half cover, so Michelle's in the zone ability would not have triggered on it. To end our turn, we can now once again go Ghost Mode with CFD Lupi and then go on Overwatch. Again, we already have a visual here, so this should be a good ambush. Or it would be if our enemies weren't teleporting themselves. This is unfortunately still a problem to this day. Enemies that are already detected, either with ghost armor or mimetic skin, have a tendency to not move to their destination but to simply appear there, which of course ruins any chance of landing reaction shots. To make up for it though, the game now sends a Cyberdisc our way, so Louisa and Kim both get something to shoot at after all. On the first move here then, I took a bit of a risk and that immediately gets punished. I wasn't quite sure here if the angles would allow reaction fire, but as you can see, they do. So Shoji takes a bit of damage, but he can retaliate immediately. Holo targeting activates as well, and that gives CFD Lupi a good chance to get the kill. Lovely, that's 3 groups down, 2 more to go, and we'll stay inside for the time being. I'm pretty sure the sectopod finds its way back here sooner or later. Now, the sectopod does move closer, but it's one of the Cyberdisc drones that triggers reaction fire. Unfortunately though, Andrea misses her shot.
Targeting system readjusting. They're trying to pull back.
On the bright side, its attempt to kill a civilian then also fails miserably, but as you know, a good mood rarely lasts long in this game, and the appearance of a second sectopod quickly brings the threat level back up to serious. The other sectopod has also activated, so I think our path to success here is clear. A Shredder rocket is a good start, I'd say, even though we have to sacrifice a civilian in the process. A second rocket then follows immediately. These are the last 2 enemy groups after all, and we need at least 1 sectopod kill on this turn. Shaki Sentoso can also move up undetected without triggering any reaction shots, but before Louisa takes aim, Sniper Palladium Talpas goes for the headshot. Unfortunately though, we do not get a critical here, so let's see if Miss Sentoso can still get us the kill. Alright, so sectopod number 1 is down. Sharky took a bit of damage, but that's okay. And taking damage might be on the menu for Andrea here as well, as she will now move in closer. Luckily though, she dodges the reaction fire and can now use Electropulse to disable the enemy for 1 turn. The ability also hits the 2 drones nearby, which I had actually not planned for, but of course I'm not complaining. Speaking of drones, Resilius can quickly take out the one over in the corner here to end our turn, which then also only leaves its companion with any moves to make. And this time our enemies do get the kill, but I'm pretty sure that the excellent rating is secured at this point. A punch from Andrea then takes out the sectopod, and the resulting explosion also kills its drone companion. A bit of experimentation with Louisa on the rooftop here then sadly fails. For some reason she just doesn't have a line of sight from up here. Still, the mission is as good as over. A simple suppression from Shoji is guaranteed to do enough damage to take out the first drone. For the other one meanwhile, well, we do have another rocket to spare.
Excellent work. All
And so, 10 minutes in, our first mission is completed. We didn't really get a good chance to use any of Shaojie's psionic powers, but maybe the next mission will be a bit more generous in that regard. Speaking of Shaojie, he actually suffered enough damage to be sidelined for a few days now, but this should have been the last mission of the month, so he will recover before anything else pops up.
We will be in touch, Commander.
And since there is nothing for us to take care of at the moment, we can simply keep scanning.
Incoming transmission.
Excellent work, Commander. This council is pleased to see our continued support of this project has been worthwhile. We hope that your current successes only mark the beginning of an enduring effort to eliminate the extraterrestrial threat. Remember, we will be watching.
Another council report is in the books as we head into June, and let's see what this month has to offer. A request for 2 scatter lasers will, as always, be denied, and shortly after we encounter a large UFO landing site that we will, as always, skip as well.
Commander, the Council isn't going to be happy about this. We need to protect our satellites, or we're going to lose coverage.
A few wise words later, the battleship then appears, but the result of this fight should be very much predictable at this point. Of course, we emerge victorious and leave the 29 aliens at the crash site to their demise.
The new engineers arrived this morning, Commander. We're always glad to have more help down here.
Now, we did just burn through our last dodge module, so let's quickly purchase 2 more here, and then we continue with business as usual. Another request, another rejection, and with that we're already nearing the end of the month again.
Contact detected.
A second battleship then also appears, not prompted by a skipped landing site, but no matter its motives, we shoot it down either way, this time even without the use of a dodge module. The crash site, meanwhile, is then once again no place for us, so let's simply keep scanning. And I had hoped for no terror mission this month, but it seems like we have to answer the call once more. This time we're heading to Canada with the exact same squad as last time.
Central, this is Big Sky. Confirm signal uplink. Strike team is in position near the terror site. Awaiting confirmation.
Solid copy, Big Sky. Strike 1 has been given the green light. Your highest priority is to protect those civilians.
Alright, let's get going here, and our first move reveals a trio of mutons, the weaker kind, so we shouldn't have much of an issue here to start off. A few overwatches later, it's then the aliens' turn, and we will get some reaction shots off here unless they're teleporting again. Okay, this went about as well as it could have. One muton is down already, and we can finally give Shaojie some psionic experience against the other one.
You shouldn't have come.
Resilius can then land the killing blow and use his second shot on the Berserker just to get it a little closer.
Dead and gone.
Up next is Palladium Talpas, and her shot is not only a hit, but a critical one, so that's the first group already down. Moving up with Sharky Sentoso, we rescue a civilian and also detect the next enemy group. A few floaters hang out behind the building, so let's not advance too far with anyone else here. Perhaps we can catch them by surprise. And it seems like we can, so at least until now, this mission is off to a great start. And once again, our reaction fire is enough to outright kill an enemy. The other two are out of sight though, so let's move up Louisa to get a visual. Okay, so alien group number 3 appears to consist of floaters as well, and they are awfully conveniently located, so let's go for a rocket. Now, killing the remaining 5 enemies on this turn could be challenging, but Andreas Electropulse could be very useful here as a low damage area of effect attack, even though we once again sacrifice a civilian in the process.
Electropulse now active.
Alright, that was certainly not how this was planned to go. The floaters were marked as inside the effect radius, but all 3 remain unharmed. That is certainly frustrating, but we have a plan B, even though the rocket from Shaojie here is of course completely overkill. The floater at the building corner can then be disposed of by Michelle, while Louisa has roughly a 5% chance to not kill the other one, so we should hopefully be fine. To end our turn, we can now move up our 2 snipers. The aliens are down to only 2 groups now, but we still don't need to expose anyone outside of the building. We also hear very clearly that there are sectopods around, so let's have Sharky Sentoso take a closer look. And indeed, both remaining alien groups are sectopods. That rocket from Shaojie would definitely come in handy now, but it is what it is. We will of course not engage just yet, so instead we can set up another Overwatch ambush. After all, that has served us well so far.
Cleared to engage.
Now, I will admit I had hoped for the reaction fire to target the sectopod inside of the building, but getting the drop on the other one still gives us a nice advantage, so I'm not complaining.
X-ray spotted.
In the end, we also have both enemies cluster closely together, which certainly makes the fight easier for us, and the rocket here pretty much a no-brainer. Now, the sectopod's overwatches are still a slight problem, so let's burn those with Andrea. She can definitely take the damage, and she has been through worse.
Heavy fire here.
Luckily though, the first shot misses, and a second one doesn't even happen. Looks like the sectopod in the back doesn't quite have a line of sight yet. Shaojie can cloak and then move up and then take aim at that sectopod in the back. This activates holo targeting and gives Michelle a 10% aim increase on the disabling shot. And that is enough to make life a lot easier for us, as we now only have to eliminate 1 sectopod this turn, and Mr. Wargull is already waiting for his go. Once again, we miss out on the critical here, but Sharky Sentoso should still be able to finish the job. And there we go. At this point, we can now move Andrea into melee range, wait for the alien turn to pass, and then kill the sectopod with a hefty punch to the face. And that's it. Terror mission number 2 is in the books. We are looking at excellent ratings across the board. That's the way it should be. So let's return to the base.
Missions like that are sure to boost everyone's confidence. Well done, Commander.
No injuries this time, but Shaojie also doesn't rank up his psionic level just yet, but we do obtain 15 more units of meld, which we'll use in just a moment.
We will be in touch, Commander.
We've taken genetic modification further than any of us ever imagined possible. Our soldiers are now more than human in so many ways, all in the name of victory. Once we achieve that victory, the question remains, what will become of them?
Heading over to the gene labs, we can now give Sniper Michelle Talpers the mimetic skin gene mod, so that she can be a little bit more stealthy whenever she's not flying high up in the air.
I'll have the selected volunteer sent to surgical prep immediately. Once the genetic modification is complete, I will notify you directly.
And well, we could make the cut at this point, but let's try to shoot down a few more UFOs. I'd say we simply keep scanning until the next mission shows up. Our UFO crash site here will of course remain uncleared. Instead, we can watch as Michelle completes her gene modification and the next council report is already due.
Incoming transmission.
Excellent work, Commander. This council is pleased to see our continued support of this project has been worthwhile. We hope that your current successes only mark the beginning of an enduring effort to eliminate the extraterrestrial threat. Remember, we will be watching.
Right, so we have made it to July, and once again I'd say there is nothing to report, so let's keep scanning and see where that takes us.
Contact detected.
An alien abductor is then the first UFO we encounter, and we don't even need the fusion lands for this one.
Nearing strike range.
The crash site will remain as it is, and we can keep scanning, which brings us to a request from China that we can quickly shut down as well.
Contact detected.
A large scout sighting follows immediately after, and as you can imagine, we have no issues taking it out. However, at this point I'd like to hear your opinion. We still need to complete that Rise of the Machines mission where we field a squad of only mech troopers and shivs, and this mission might be a good candidate for that. 12 enemies, likely 3 pods of sectoid commanders. That is a bit unusual, yes, but nothing too challenging for a 6-person squad, I think, no matter how it's composed. On the other hand, we could simply leave this crash site be like all the others and wait for something more exciting or something even easier, like a small scout for example. But I'll leave that up to you. Let me know what you think we should do with this one, and we'll do it in the next episode. For today, let's wrap things up right here. We are now at 29 UFO takedowns, so 2 or 3 more missions should do it, and then this playthrough will come to an end. And to answer one of the most frequent questions on this channel, yes, we will play XCOM 2 afterwards. Not right away, but it is certainly planned, so don't worry, the aliens will continue to get punished in the future. Now, in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, then I would of course be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.